Hello YouTube, my name's Marie and today we're going to count down my top 10 favorite K-dramas of all time. Everyone's allowed to like what they like. Let's just have a good time, shall we? And I apologize if I'm not as excited per se in this video or just lively or I don't know, because this is the second time I filmed this video. I've already filmed and edited, done this top 10 list, and I spent freaking forever on it because for one thing I talked forever in that video. It was a 45-minute video I had to edit down to 20 minutes. I lost it. I lost it all. It got corrupted after I had edited everything, and it just, So without further ado, let's just get right on into it. And for my number 10 pick, I have Just Between Lovers. Now, Just Between Lovers is about two people who have a shared traumatic experience. When they were both young, they were trapped in a mall collapse, or like a building collapsed on them, and they were trapped in the same area together, severely traumatized, some PTSD, like they're both broken from this experience, and they could reconnect later as adults, and it's them working together to heal and pick up the pieces of their life. Wonderful. It reminds me a lot of My Mister in the fact that it's got more of a serious, more of a gritty, more of a grounded in reality tone to it. Also being it's a little bit more depressing, it's quite sad. I did cry in a couple moments, except both shows have a very uplifting, hopeful flavor to them, you know? And a few of the other things that I really loved about this show is the chemistry between the leads. Loved their romance, especially the male lead. I think he really carried the show for me. I liked the female lead a lot more in the beginning of the season, and as it went on, I kind of lost a little bit of interest in her and really invested myself in the male lead and his character and his story. It's also a little bit more of an interesting story. He's definitely far more traumatized by the whole event. And he's given so much character development, and there's a side character played by a wonderful older Korean actress. Spunky grandmother type character was such a wonderful and welcome surprise within Just Between Lovers. You are going to see with this list that I am just such a sucker for a small bit of fantasy thrown in, like a small bit of sci-fi or a small bit of the paranormal, or just like a little bit to spice things up a little bit. Yeah. So While You Were Sleeping is my number 9 pick. It is about a prosecutor, a lawyer, and a journalist who can all see the future within their dreams. Absolutely wonderful. I loved it. I loved it. It is also a Lee Jun-suk drama. Suzy does a great job in this show. I'm not a huge fan of hers. Like, I don't actively go out to watch shows with her in it, but whenever I see her in a show, I do enjoy it. So maybe I should, go watch some of the shows that she's in that I haven't seen before. I believe Unconditionally Fond is one that she is known for that I haven't seen. Anyways, I really loved the plot of While You Were Sleeping, and I loved the interactions between our 3 leads. I thought that was great, and overall it's just got a lot of great energy, and I love the plot, and I love the characters. I don't know if you guys can hear, but my landlord is making so much noise right now. I don't know what they're doing. It's like renovations, throwing dishes at the wall, who knows, but I apologize. Number 8 is The Best Hit. The Best Hit is the first K-drama that I can remember that made me laugh out loud. Had me laughing throughout the entire first half of the season. Later on in the season, it the comedy does take a back seat for more of the dramatic romantic plotline. I believe I said the exact same thing word for word in my review of The Best Hit. It strikes a really good balance between the humor and some other emotions. I really felt like I went on a roller coaster ride with The Best Hit. It's incredibly relatable to someone in their 20s or anybody who has a creative dream or goal. Like, the first 2 episodes really pulled me in and got me invested in the characters incredibly quickly. And there is a side plot line with a older man who is starting to develop dementia and his relationship with a young girl. I believe it's his granddaughter, and that was wonderful and gut-wrenching. So not only am I laughing out of my seat, but the next episode or the next 5 minutes later, I'm also crying. So it gave me all of the emotions, and I loved the characters. It did have a plot device that I hate, that being men and women can't be friends. But again, it's still done so well that I'm willing to forgive it. I mean, a lot of the shows on my top 10 list are not perfect shows, but I still love them the most anyways. Oh, and again, with The Best Hit, it has a sprinkling of sci-fi time slip element to it, and it makes this family so dysfunctional and intertwined and convoluted, and I love it. Number 7 is a recent watch. I think it's the most recent watch on this list, and that is My Strange Hero. And My Strange Hero is about a man who goes back to high school in order to get revenge. So this show has so much energy, and the actors are having fun, the soundtrack is having fun, the directing is having fun, everything is so fun, and it's operating at 110%. Everything is super exaggerated, the humor is hilarious, but it also has a wonderful antagonist who goes through a lot. The antagonist, our second male lead, has a shocking amount of character growth, and a villain who is awful. His mother deserves to rot in jail. Not only is it incredibly entertaining, but you're also in for some great smart writing where characters mirror each other and everything's done with a purpose. So Legend of the Blue Sea is my number 6. I adore mermaids. I love them. I plan to get a leg sleeve tattoo of a mermaid. Like, mermaids are my shit. So Legend of the Blue Sea is about a mermaid who comes to land to win the heart of her true love. Some past life connections going on. We've got like so much going on. The humor is good. It's in there, and I did laugh. You know, I have a hard time with a lot of Korean comedies because, sorry, I just don't find potty humor very funny. But the humor in here, for the vast majority of it, is very good, and it lands. Like, I did chuckle a lot and have a good time. So, and I loved all of the characters. I think it's a great ensemble cast, and going back to watch it now, because it is a couple years old, you see certain actresses who are now bigger names for themselves, which is so fun for me to see. A golden aspect of Legend of the Blue Sea is the development of the female lead. She starts off as a literal fish out of water. She is extremely naive. She just doesn't know the societal norms and rules to follow. And then by the end of the show, you see her grow and transition and become this full-grown adult. So there's a hint of her mentoring another younger mermaid, and I just thought that was so satisfying. Loved Legend of the Blue Sea. Just Dance is coming in for my number 5th position. I have too many reasons why I love this show. I will link my full review of Just Dance down below, and you can watch me fangirl, you can watch me talk about how relatable the show is to me and my own personal experience. You can watch me talk about how much I love the characters and their dynamics together and the family dynamics, and just so much love for me with this show. And number 4 being Healer. There is so much nostalgia with me in Healer. I love the male lead. I love his character. I love the action within Healer, and I also love the romance. It's so cute, and I love the female lead, and their relationship is ooey gooey feelings inside. This show also has a trope that I am just trash for, and that being falling in love with your mark. Like either you're a spy and you're falling in love with the person that you're watching. I know it's creepy, you know, guilty pleasure, I get it. Someone's bodyguard and you fall in love with the person you're paid to protect. Like, you know, I love that. Number 3 is Hello, My 20s or Age of Youth. This one is on Netflix, and there's 2 seasons. Like, there's 2 seasons with these characters. Like, how many K-dramas did you get 2 seasons for? Not many. And this follows a cast of characters, mostly all women. Their stories of living together, you know, growing up. A lot of coming of age stories, and it's so darn relatable. And each character is incredibly unique, which makes the stories that they tell through each character, because not only is this a show about their interactions together, but each one has a very specific and separate storyline that they're going through. So you should be able to find someone out of, I think there's 5 of them, out of the 5 girls to relate to, because they're all so different. So number 2, can you guys guess? Can you guys guess? 30 but 17. So 30 but 17 is about a 17-year-old girl who gets into an accident and falls into a coma and wakes up over a decade later. And then it's her coming to terms with the time that she's lost and what that now means for her going forward. The writing is wonderful. The development of the characters is wonderful. The chemistry of our leads and the romance is wonderful. The entire cast, I don't even know if I've already said that or not, but the entire cast, like I loved the nephew, and I loved Jennifer, and I loved the violin rival, the one-sided rival, and the development between those 2 women, and there's so much to love about this show. Lastly, number 1. Honestly, the best K-drama I think I've ever watched. Well, obviously, it's number 1. I know I've seen a lot of people on the internets lately saying that Sky Castle is the best K-drama out there, and I'm like, I disagree. Sky Castle is great. Like, I really think if I had loved the characters, it would be a favorite, but I just didn't like the characters. With my number 1, I love all of the characters, and that is My Mister. For one thing, it's got IU in it. She's a star. I loved her character. I love the development of her character. I love the tone of the show, and I love the sound design of the show and the directing and the overall production. I loved the side characters. I loved an aspect of the show that a lot of people don't talk about that I really appreciated and loved is how textbook criminology a lot of the themes are. It's so textbook, it blew my mind, and I loved it. So good. I am highly anticipating IU's next endeavor. You know, Persona was supposed to come out on the 5th. I even screenshotted my phone, so I have proof. I have receipts that it was supposed to come out on the 5th, and it hasn't yet, so those are my top 10. Please let me know your favorites. And yeah, if you really think I missed one, or you just think that one deserves to be somewhere on this list, leave it down below and I'll let you know if I watched it and didn't like it, or if I just haven't seen it yet. I am currently on episode 3 of Pinocchio, because so many people have recommended it to me over time, and then Sarah M, I believe her name is, in the comment section of the last video, she's like, girl, I think you're forgetting something. Fine, I have to at least watch the first 3 episodes. I have to give it a first impression. So have a good day, have a good night, bye.